Welcome to the Golden State Media Concepts Sex Podcast, a show that examines all aspects of sexuality, from physical to emotional to spiritual. Join our hosts as they discuss age-old questions, common misconceptions, and the latest topics surrounding sex. They'll tackle topics about sexuality from the complicated to the hilarious and everything in between. GSMC Sex Podcast is your show for all of your questions about sex, even some you might not have thought of yet.
Thank you for tuning into the GSMC Sex Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I am your host, Andra, where the topic about sex is from the point of view of an older woman. How are you all out there today, my sexy little demons? Today, I've been talking about all kinds of what we consider normal sex, whatever that is, because everything is different and there are different likes and dislikes that people like about each other and their partners. So, you will see, we think it's mismatched, or somebody else may think it's mismatched. You see someone very, very tall with someone who's very, very short, and you just say to yourself, how the heck do they have sex? Or you see somebody who is fluffy, as that comedian always calls it, which is a great way to say it. Plus size is another. You wear it. And they have a partner who is considerably smaller than them. And that can be either gender. It does not matter. However, I'm assured you have all thought about it and said, how do they have sex? Well, guess what our topic is today? Just talking about ways that they or you can work with this different size of you and your partner. The top one off. And then as we go on, actually, because I knew I was going to stop that off, but I just want to say this first. Then we're going to continue on, and I'm going to talk about having sex with a micropenis. Yes, I said it, a micropenis. And we're going to define micropenis as 2 3/4 and smaller erect penis. And there are those individuals out there. Hey, as the saying goes, it's not the size, but how you use it. But we're going to work on that and some positions that will work with the micropenis, as well as touching on some awkward sex. So let's get this session started of sex talk, and we're going to go right into working with differences between you and your partner, different sizes, different weights. Who cares what it is? We all like sex, and one way or the other we are going to get it done and have that orgasm while we are at it. So let's start our list off with, obviously you always go to mutual masturbation. It's put a show on for each other. Show how you really would like to be touched, or what you do like. Vice versa between the two. So, you could take turns, sit far away from each other and just watch each other, which is how you're going to, you can see somebody from a distance, but you can't touch them, basically, is what I'm trying to get at. And that will just throw the steaminess in there and drive you crazy. And this is where you can start this off with. It cuts down on any awkwardness that you may have. Might it be height? Might it be weight? Differences doesn't matter. It's gaining insight on how to please each other, as well as possible ways of making it easier to be with that person and to have sex with them. So remember it. Now, obviously, if there is a height difference, grab a step stool. Hey, that's why they're called a step stool, to be exact. Brings you up a little higher there. Can meet you and your partner at the same level. Gives you some leverage there. So don't be afraid of using that. You can find out some other things that you can do with that step stool, which might turn you on during the sex. So remember that. But be careful. Don't hurt yourself. It is a step stool and it is not a jungle gym. So remember that. Obviously, incorporate toys, because that's always a fun thing to do all around. It doesn't have to be during awkward sex. It doesn't have to be any difference in between you and your partner. Sex toys are always good. So there are team sex toys. Obviously now they're coming, now they have those Bluetooth ones, which are for both partners, and you can control each other. So that's, and, obviously, if you have a toy, you get double the pleasure. You're going to get sex either way out of it, with or without the toy, but it might be able to satisfy, if that is the best word to use, your partner. Say it's a short and a tall, doggy style. They can't reach around. So simultaneously stimulate your partner. It might be a woman who's on the shorter end. It might be the man who is on the shorter end. Find ways to, wrap around and do that. There goes that, using the wand vibrator, which works perfectly, and it will elevate the sex, and you know that. Have standing sex on the stairs. Obviously, standing is a sexual position, and it's actually one of the good positions to reach that awesome orgasm and hit that spot. So stand on the stairs. It gives you leverage. It doesn't make it. You can actually even probably lay on the stairs, but right now we're going to work on standing on them. 10 to 1, it'll end up being a lay down session, and just being where your partner is, if the shorter partner is standing on an upper stair, 1 to 3, or ever how much that you want, obviously it is giving you another level of evenness. You can even stand on a coffee table, believe it or not. I don't know if you want to, if it's glass, be careful, but using that coffee table. And when you come back around into the room, and every time you see it, it'll remind you. You'll probably find other ways to use that coffee table. I'm just giving you one way to use it. Try a sex wedge. There are a lot out there. The Liberator line is a good line of sex wedges, which is the wedge pillow, which will tilt your partner's hips up so that, you could penetrate more deeply, which is, again, another awesome sex position orgasmically and penetratively. So being having the shorter person on the platform provides, it gives it a little bit more leverage there, especially during doggy style, because it's going to lift up your partner. So remember that, and they have a lot of them out there. Get one that works for you. If you want a big pillow and then add some pillows onto that wedge, go for it. It's how you use it and how you put it in to your sex fun. Now there's also the pillow, which is PILLO, the pillow for sex. It's by Dame Products, and you can find it at dameproducts.com at $95. The Liberator is pretty popular, so most of you know where to find that at. You just put that in, you'll find. Okay, so this is the whole idea. So when you're having that difference in height or difference in weight or however your difference is, this actually makes it less stressful for both you and your partner. So remember that. And, sex would probably even last longer incorporating this in. There's more visual stimulation with it as well, and a lot of people like that. You can get in slower and deeper thrusts. So, you're like each other. Well, your partner is now at your waist level where they should be for sex. So you're kind of sort of evening it out. This is really good. Takes a lot of pressure off a lot of body areas. You don't get all smushed together or whatever. Missionary, very difficult with a tall and a short. Obviously, if the shorter person is on the bottom, it's going to get smushed into your chest. If they like that, hey, go for it. But I don't think you want your partner in any awkward position. I'm sure you're finding other ways to get around, but these things are there, especially with the new couples in this situation. And it might just be that fantasy that you imagined yourself going to bed with somebody who's extremely taller than you or extremely shorter than you. That is completely up to you. So another way to work with that difference is invest in a sex swing. Sport Sheets actually puts out a sex swing that goes over the top of the door to hold it in place with the door shut. So, and those are completely height adjustable. So, there are different ones that are out there. Ones that I'm sure somebody has them in their house where they have them screwed into their ceilings. Your choice. But these go over the door, which is really easy because all you have to do is throw it over the door, the top of the door, close the door, and it helps it and secures it there. And it's providing all the benefits of sex. Against the wall. There's no buckling of the knees or crashing to the ground. You don't have to worry about trying to keep your weight up or your partner's weight up. It relieves you of that. It helps you to hold on, and you can either put it either way you want. So that one is by Sport Sheets. It is a sex swing door jam kit, what they call it. And it's not that expensive. It is on lovehoney.com and it costs $69.99. Not a bad price at all. So if you want to start out small and work that into your sexual repertoire, please do. You know, you can just leave that in the, when you open up the door, you can just take it and just put it aside. Like I said, if you have the one that's hanging from the ceiling, you might want to put that one in a room where the kids don't go in, or none of your neighbors or family sees it. But then again, if you're having swinging clubs, swingers parties or whatever, hey, more party to you. If you got no kids and you want it there you go. So just looking at it might be a turn on for you. Who's to say? Now, like I said a little earlier, missionary can be tricky. So find a table or a counter to use. It's much better because your partner, if they have has a belly or large boobs, bust, chest, whatever you want to call them, they can lay on top of the table. And the counter is elevated up, so it brings you up to where you need to be. And as long as they have that, bring their butt to the edge of the table or the edge of the counter, you could just stand there and just, with no effort, get a line-up shot for perfect thrusting, perfect penetration, deeper, and no straining of the joints. With that, I am going to take our first break of the show. So go get that drink, go get that snack, come back, get relaxed, and I'll meet you back here for more Sex Talk with Andra after some commercials and a brief break. Linens and Hutch, a family-owned company who specialize in soft and cozy, on-trend colors and patterns that never go out of style, high quality, everything for your bed products at the best possible price. They are able to do this by designing and working directly with expert manufacturers to cut out the middleman and pass the savings on to their customer, providing affordable luxury. In addition, Linens and Hutch provide fast and free shipping. They are so confident that you will love their bedding products that they are offering a 100-day trial period, money back guaranteed. In addition, you will be so satisfied in their product that they are offering listeners 60% off everything site-wide this week by going to their website, linensandhutch.com/sex, and using the code GSMC6 for the softest sheets ever.
Still on the search of that one true love? On the limbo in this crazy world of dating, marriage, relationships? Well, listen to the Golden State Media Concepts Relationship Podcast, your one-stop podcast for everything about relationships.
Thank you for tuning into the GSMC Sex Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I am your host, Andra, where the topic about sex is from the point of view of an older woman. Now, welcome back for you who are basically getting this halfway in. If not, this is a podcast. You can start it from the beginning and listen to it all you want. But we are talking about differences between partners. And I don't mean the main ones. I mean, if there's a height difference, if there's a weight difference, a little bit of awkwardness there going on, and ways to work around that, and using, things around the house, or maybe going out and getting out that new sex toy. Who's to say what your preference is? So let's continue on with our topic and just get right back in there and get very familiar with the edge of that bed. Because obviously, as like with the table, but at a much higher level or height, there is the edge of the bed, which will also bring you up. Your partner, if he's really tall or she's really tall, might have to, get on their knees. But you can have the shorter of the partners lie on their stomach or on the back, whichever you choose. And the taller partner is going to kneel next to the bed, which is going to align the two of you up, which works really cool. And another way of, even propping you up more, you can either get one of the wedge pillows or a couple of pillows all your own. Get creative, because it'll line you right up for that awesome penetration and thrusting with no issues whatsoever. A next way to work with that little bit of height or size proportion between couples is try spooning for couples. And this is for couples, like I said, with the height or the weight different. Obviously, when you are laying on that bed and you are spooning, you can move yourself upward because you're kind of sort of right there, because they're coming in from behind. Don't really have to go that far. So it's a lot better, a lot easier. Movement is horizontal. Curvy bellies or breasts won't even impede anything in this position, which is really good. And obviously the best in deep penetration. You can also, you can do it face to face if you want to, but I think the better position with this is your partner's back to your front. And it is a way of also working on building more that intimacy and that closeness with your partner. On to our next, which is use the taller partner's lap as a booster seat. Obviously, if your partner's sitting on a chair, height doesn't really matter to some extent, but have them sit on your lap, like in that lotus position, and because the shorter person is the receiving partner, the boost in height for them is much better. And for the partner who is penetrating, it actually makes the eye contacts easier, the penetration deeper, and you can just, wrap it, legs around your partner and hold on, because it is going to lift you up. Also, you get more intimacy out of that as well. So sit on that chair get that kitchen table chair out, or get a chair that is your favorite chair. Who's to say? I don't know. And put some cushions on it, whatever you want. But hey, a chair is always, a sex situation's best friend. Try a strap design for doggy style. And they have them out there. Okay. Sport Sheets comes up with those. They actually sell a plus size doggy strap as well as a smaller size model. And this gives the person who's doing the penetrating better access, and the partner who is receiving receives more internal stimulation during sex from behind because they have something to grip onto. They're lifting you up with the straps and putting you right where they need you to be. It also gives you that little bit of some control of, it may turn you on to think you're riding a horse. And you got the bridles in your hand, those right on your hand. Who's to say? You may even get the BDSM vibe from it all. Who's to say? Because it's almost like restraining your partner. They do have a vibrating version of this, so if you want to try that as well, to give your partner added stimulation in there. You don't have to bring up the sex toys. You can use you and get vibration from the strap. Always makes it easy, and they're pretty darn reasonable in price. If you go to pinkcherry.com, they cost $24.99, which is really, really good. So those are some ways to work around, height and size differences. I'm assured you've probably worked around these, but there are those things that are available to you out there to work in. So we're going to move on to some sex positions for there are different heights involved in partners. So we're going to add those right in there. The first one is The Notebook. Oh, how sweet. And if any of you have seen that movie, it is an awesome movie. Very, very, it's a tearjerker. So if you want one of those nights where you want to be that big giant pillow for cuddling, pull out The Notebook movie. But it's like a standing position, but you're laying down. Now, if he's the taller partner in the relationship, you can have him lift him to your hips. So use that together right then and there where you need to be. And, go to town. I mean, you're sitting there, you're at eye level, your partner's pulled down to where they need to be, they're lined right up. I can't even explain that any better than that. The wheelbarrow is on our list. And, this is, instead of having to go through all the issues, if you don't want to sit up there and pile up pillows for the doggy style, this is a way to hoist up your partner where they need to be. And you can always do this by the edge of the bed, and they pull you a little bit off of that bed. They hold you by the legs. You know what a wheelbarrow is. We had wheelbarrow races when we were younger. Remember those. And boom, there you go. The kitchen or counterintuitive position, as they call it. This is when your partner's tall. Sit you behind something if it is a male. And boom, there you go. There is, believe it or not, well, you have an array of seats in the house. Use them. Dining chairs, bar stools, couch, the arms of the couch, the backs. Get creative. You have bureaus in your room where you put your clothes. Just make sure the drawers are shut, people. So there are a lot of things, the kitchen counter, the bathroom sink. It'll be just right for you. So, you might want to go from one to the other, to the other, to the other in one sitting. Who is to say? You might find one of them that fits better than the other. That's your go-to spot. So, another one is shoot the moon. And when you shoot the moon, obviously, you're laying with your hips at the edge of the bed, and you're spreading those suckers long and wide. You're going to wrap them over your partner's shoulders. You can use a wedge or, a bunch of pillows. That's completely up to you. But I think you get a little bit of leverage when you're throwing your legs over your partner's shoulders. It's going to lift you up. And there you go. He or she's got perfect angle. No need to worry about that. Then you have the long distance 69. Now we all know what 69 position is. Come on. Perfect oral sex. But when you're sure, you could just bend down to this. It doesn't matter height or anything. All you have to do is lay on your darn side and put your face in there and shake away. Or your mouth onto their penis and give them that blowjob. Use your hands and your mouth. Same with the opposite end of that. We have the face-off, which is front-facing cuddling, obviously. If you don't want to, everybody has done 69, I am assured. That is one part that everybody likes to try out. And if you like it, you like it. You don't, you don't. When you're doing this position, you can, lie on your side, face each other. You can use a vibrator or put on a masturbation sleeve onto it. It gives you that intimacy, using some toys and things like that. Completely up to you. No need to worry. You can bring them right up to where you're face to face with your partner. Height is not a problem, and use that. Because when you're going to go and penetrate or whatever it is or how you're going to go about it, you're going to find a place or something that is going to work for you to make it right where you need it. So there is a lot of broker. So very reasonable. It's on lovehoney.com. And it costs $16.99. Very, very reasonable in the area of sex toys. So, don't be afraid to try it. If you have not, please do try it. That's what it's there for. You weren't attracted to that person for no apparent reason at all. You absolutely want to be with that person, or it might just be something where you need to check it off your to-do list or your bucket list in your life. And the both of you are, in agreement with it. But obviously, if there is no consent there, please don't do it. Really? And don't lie to get it either. So, there are all things to do and different ways to go about it. So please have remember the education, consent. Education, communication and consent. Got me babbling all over my words here. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But moving on to the micropenis. But really, we're going to take our second break here. Just wanted to get you all in the mood because that's what we're going to start with when I come back. So, replenish that drink, replenish that snack, and meet me back here for more sex talk with Andra.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Thank you for tuning into the GSMC Sex Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I am your host, Andra, where the topic about sex is from the point of view of an older woman. Now, we just talked about some differences in sizes and heights and things that you can do to still get your groove on and get your partner off. Now we're going to move on, as promised, to the micropenis and some positions for them as well. Now, we know there are some men out there who have a penis 2 3/4 inches or smaller when erect, but as the saying goes, it's not that's how you use it. You know, sex should not be just about the penetration because they have feelings too, and they are some are very self-conscious about it, and others do not care, and they know how to work the bedroom. They know how to work their way around it in sex. So don't ever count them out. There are some good lovers there. You know, instead of a blowjob, give a lip job. Hey, it's still got the same meaning, just done with a different, a little smaller portion. It works. They want to be felt as well. Like I said, there are those out there who are either self-conscious of it or they are really conscious of it, don't care, and know how to use it or know how to work their way around the sex room and the sex time. So don't ever think differently. But we are going to talk about some things you can do, to work with it. First off, have an orgasm before you go in for that penetration sex. Okay? Because this way, you're getting yourself off. You're helping your partner orgasm. You're, giving it to them, paying so total attention to their penis. And not even the size. And then it's just basically, it gives less pressure on the penetration sex. So there are a lot of things that you can do that don't have to do all the time with being penetrated. There are toys, that. Vibrators, yada, yada, yada. And I will talk about this a little bit further down our list where now they have those sleeves where you could just put it right over the penis that will extend it out. Well, I'll give you some info on that. That you really, if you really like this person, you're going to love them no matter what their size down in the genitals. You're going to find a way to do it. They're going to know how to get you to your orgasm right where you want it to be. So don't ever think that is always going to be a problem. 69 is a great way of using your time in this particular instance, giving your partner what they want. Like I said earlier, instead of a blowjob, give them a lip job. If your partner slips out, obviously go down there and give them some lip. And I don't mean the talking kind. So remember that as well. We are here for pleasuring both and not, insulting our partner in any way. It is for what sex is for enjoyment, and you know that. It's a way of getting more intimate with your partner, bonding more and everything like that. So when it comes to a lip job over a blow job, please, you're getting the same out of it. But, you can go down there and put your hand down there in the beginning and just stroke your partner, play around with the penis head, little up and down on the shaft. Obviously, lips either on the top or your labia, either pair, whichever you want to use. You can rub your partner's penis right on that. You can sit on them and go, or actually let's put it in there, do a grinding motion between it. And who cares? At the same time, you're getting exercise out of it anyway. You're working on the pelvic muscles. So this is a lot easier, a lot better. So if they had slipped out because of the size of their penis and it didn't stay in, you're not going crazy. It keeps it moving. That's why it's called a lip job down there. Because you're utilizing your pelvis and the fact that you're, grinding up against your partner is the penis, and with your labia, your vaginal lips, however you want to call them. Sometimes there's so many words out there, getting them all out. You call them what you want. Give yourselves nicknames. Some people do. Who's to say? Another way to work with it is to get on top of your partner and squeeze. Obviously, when you are on top, it's either a reverse cowgirl or a girl, just the girl on top. You are able, when you're sitting on top of your partner's penis, doesn't mind what size, you are able to grip the penis a lot better. And you don't got to worry about so much of it falling out, but you are able to get the rub of your clit going. You can, you have control of your pelvic muscles, so you can contract them around your partner's penis, to keep it in. And they don't mind that. So that doesn't matter what size. But we are focusing in on our buddies with a micro penis. Remember that. Now, another thing you can do is make missionary more satisfying. And by doing this, you're resting your ankles or calves on your partner's shoulders and tilting your pelvis up. Give your partner with a micro penis easier access, able to penetrate better, and you don't got to worry, about they can take it out, put it in, whatever, how they want it. It gives great access, and you're not as much, fumbling. And if your partner wants to use along with their penis a toy with that, which will help it right along, that is perfect for you as well. So remember that it's precise angling and penetration there. Have your partner insert their penis and a finger at the same time into your vagina, or in whatever hole you're going into. So that is a plus because you're getting a 2-for-1 there. So pick which one you want. One up the anus and one in the vagina along with this micropenis. Go for it. You're going to get sensation either way. So work with it, people. Another one is doggy style. Doggy style seems to be that winning position in all respects. So you can never go wrong with doggy style. Doesn't matter your size. But in this situation, it gives your partner better penetration, better angle, minimum slippage. They're in control. You get that deep penetration that way and everything. So work with that. And you also have, it's more sensitive that way as well. So remember, there are a lot of things that even an individual with a micropenis can do with a doggy style. Can never go wrong with that position. This is a new one. Experiment with a female condom. Yeah, we're always thinking about having the man wear the condom, or they get protection, or whatever the heck you're going to do, whatever way you're going to discuss that with your partner. But yes, there are female condoms that when you put them in, it's a little bit, it allows for a snugger fit, and your partner doesn't really have to go that far up, whereas they get the sensation as if they're hitting your cervix, because you're putting in that condom and it's blocking it, or it's putting that barrier there, and they're going to feel that. So the smaller and deeper penetration in the feel is there. I know you don't hear much about them, and when you do, they are out there, but I don't know how many people have even used them. I've seen them, but you don't hear much about them. So, but in this situation, that is possibly one of the good ways to work with it. So, obviously, in this instant, you might want to skip the lube. And it really depends, seriously, on how wet you can get as the female. If it is the traditional heterosexual, if it's a man on man, that's completely up to you. It does, lube reduces the friction. You know all that. But it could make it harder for an individual with a smaller penis to actually feel, because there is so much lubrication. So you might want to think about that. Or if you're going to use it before the person, your partner, goes in for penetration with a micropenis, you might want to wipe some away. You don't ever want to have them not feel as though they cannot feel. So remember that. Sex is a two-way street there, unless, of course, you're in there and it's in an agreement with the both of you that your partner's just going to get you off and watch you. That, and that, it's a request. Go for it. And that's what makes sex so much fun. Another thing is it's easier to get adventurous with anal play with a micropenis. Obviously, with a smaller penis, if you're used to wearing a butt plug or you like them, the man is much more perceptive and happy to do that up because they are smaller. They can use a dildo in your vagina and penetrate you through your anus. And it's not going to be as painful. And I don't mean that as an insult, people. But it is tighter for your partner. So, and it's also good for deeper orgasmic play. Now, there are those things called the penis extender. You can use one of those, which can be fun for both of you, believe it or not. I'm sure they have some out there that do vibrate, but do look into them because they are online in adult toy stores, and that actually helps. They actually designed for trans men, but they do work great with micropenises because obviously what exactly is it? It's an extender, so it's going to make them feel bigger. And then this way they're getting the same pleasure out as if they were. There's not a real lot of stimulation with them. However, I'm assured that there are ones that are made out there with inner like ribs or nibs in there, which is made. I mean, the stimulation is not going to be for the partner you're penetrating, but the feel of the size is. But it is more for the individual with the micropenis because it has those ribs and nubs in there, which is designed to make the individual wearing it feel good because it's giving that feeling and sensation when it's going in and you're sitting on them, going back and forth. There are a lot of them around. They have semi-rigid extenders that loop around both the penis base and the scrotum, holds it right there in place for you, which is really good. It gives you a bit of snugness and suction, so it does let you feel it and make you feel good. I'm assured they make them with ribs on the outside or like to mimic the look and size of an actual penis head and all. So if you look hard enough, I'm assured they are there. But they are sold out in toy stores, like I said, adult toy stores, online. Research it, look it up. It could be fun for both of you. They probably have some that vibrate. Who is to say with today's sex toys? Give them frenulum. Probably saying that wrong. Extra love with thumbs. Okay. Use your fist. Who cares? Target the areas around the penis. Remember I told you where the perineum nerves are. In the sense here, you could probably, just cup your partner's penis and scrotum all together while you're massaging right there. Now, the frenulum, I'm saying it so wrong. I'm a really bad person. This is the ridge of sensitive tissue that's underneath the head of the penis. So you might want to place your forefinger and thumb over it on either side, and you move it back and forth and up and down, which gives them stimulation. So And when you're wearing the extender, the ribs and the nubs in there are probably hitting right on that spot. So that is totally awesome for them. And I don't mean the penis extenders. You stick your penis in and suction it and pull it. This is actually something that looks and goes over your penis for just, for sex. Okay, so think about it before you buy it. Now, we are going to take our final break of the day, or the session, or the segment, the show. And when we come back, we are going to finish up with our micropenis and some positions and other things that are out there for pure satisfaction. So, completely up to you at this point in the show. If you want to get up, get more snack, get more drink, might even need a potty break. But do remain relaxed, and I will meet you back here for more sex with Andra. Or more sex talk with Andra. Whoa, pulling that one out of the bag there. So remember, I will meet you back here for more sex talk with Andra.
Are you tired of the same old news? Are you sick of the seemingly endless political spin and negativity? The GSMC America Still Beautiful podcast is a weekly news podcast covering all the top positive and uplifting news stories. We cover stories that will inspire, uplift, and remind you of the good in the world. Tune into the Golden State Media Concepts America Still Beautiful podcast to get all the great and positive news stories of today. Download the GSMC America Still Beautiful podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, or anywhere you find podcasts. Just type GSMC in the search bar.
Thank you for tuning into the GSMC Sex Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I am your host, Andra, where the topic about sex is from the point of view of an older woman. So, welcome back. This is the last segment of my show today. And we are going to finish up with the micropenis in some positions that are great for someone with a micropenis. Like I said earlier, it is not the size that matters, but how you use it. And there are those who are self-conscious about it, and there are others who know they have it, but know how to work their way around the bedroom. So do remember that there is always something about each one of us that we do not like, or which is off, or which is weird for somebody else. But we are discussing micropenises, so let's finish out the show on a good note. Now, obviously, vibrators are good. Vibration is great. And cock rings are the best for individuals with a micropenis, because when you wear the cock ring, it goes around the penis and the scrotum, which keeps it erect for longer lengths of time. And it is easier for penetration, and you're getting that vibration sensation for your partner. But it also allows for good blowjobs. It holds it out and might even get it that much more erect for your partner. It keeps the blood flow, obviously, in the shaft of the penis. We all know why this is good. And keeping with that, it allows for the penis to remain stiff. Obviously, that, like I said, the erection lasts longer, and it is very satisfying for that individual and for their partner. And there goes, gonna have an awesome orgasm. So you can never ever go wrong. It doesn't matter the size, even of the dildo, doesn't matter the size of the penis. You don't really need that as long as you have direct contact with that clitoris, and giving that clitoral stimulation is basically one of the reasons why individuals with micropenises, if you're wearing it, it allows for that. So remember that. Don't lie about your partner's size. You're not helping each other. And come on, individuals with a micropenis, don't go out there and say you're this big when you're not. Because if you really like an individual, or you love being with your partner, or you're, just meeting someone for the first time, but you really like this person, remember. I remember watching a movie, Too Funny, the Wayans brothers, amazing individuals, especially in the movie world and the entertainment world. And it's an old movie called I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker. It is so hysterical. But there is one point in there where I believe the woman in real life is their cousin. I can't remember, but I know that she was on In Living Color, and she was one of the constants that was on there. And she meets him out in a club at a bar. He just got back from the military, little shaky on the, hadn't had sex in a long time. Picks her up, and she brings him back to her room, which is right above the bar, by the way. And she starts, he says that he wants to get something off his chest. And all of a sudden she finds it open. That's an opening for her to start, taking off things that weren't real on her. She had pasties on for her boobs. She had pasty on for her butt. Her hair was a wig. It was this. Don't go in there and lie about it, because once he saw that, he was like, he needed to get out of there. No surprises, people. If you like each other, you will make it work. So remember that. And there are so many things out there. Utilize them sex-wise, because that's what they're made for. These companies and these adult toy stores are not in the business for no reason at all. It's because it has become such a great part of the sexual revolution and being used, and more people are into them. There you go. Show them that you like it. Simple as that. Think of sex as more than penetration. Really, really more than penetration. Obviously, a lot of people associate intercourse and that's sex. There's a lot more to it. There's the intimacy, there's the bonding, there's, enjoying one another. So remember, then that helps, that when it comes to it. Obviously, the size of the penis sometimes is, like I said earlier in the show, is associated with the masculinity. It's not the size, it's the way you use it. And there are so many things out there that you can use. And so that both you and your partner feel good and enjoy. So remember that. It's, sex is a lot more than that. And when you remember that, you know that, and always be honest. Don't go in there and lie, please. So that's not good for you. It's not good for your relationship, and it sure in the hell is not good. Your partner is going to be really pissed off. So you're going to lose that person faster than you got them. And if you really had to work on your, winning them over, it is not fair to them. So remember that, okay? Sex is so totally much more and more encompassing than just the intercourse. So, there's that. So, now we are going to continue on for some positions for the man with the micro penis, which is a very good for more penetration and being able for your partner to control the pelvic wall and much more of a tighter squeeze on top of that. So we are going to move into the positions now. So, one great position for someone who has a micropenis is the curved back doggy style. We all know what doggy style is. However, in this particular, the receiving partner can drop their head and chest down on the bed or floor. And they're going to do this simultaneously while they're raising their butts in the air. And this actually maximizes penetration for a small penis. Avoid the rounded back. Don't look like a cat who's been scared, because that's going to basically have it slip, it's going to slip right out. Let's put it that way in the matter. Side saddle is another position, and this position increases the contact with the vaginal wall, and obviously our ever elusive G-spot. We have the pile driver next. Believe it or not, this is an acrobatic position. And this is where your partner is on, they call it the aerobatic position. It's where your partner is on their back with their legs up and splayed. Alright. However, with this position, again, allows for deeper penetration and better hip movement of your partner and yourself. Obviously, use your fingers, because I got them on there for a reason. Clitoral stimulation for us females, obviously. It's essential to a female orgasm. Use your hand before and during penetration in positions like the missionary or the cowgirl and everything like that, which helps you right out. Obviously, the next one is the reverse a cowgirl, and you use a pillow with this. It's propping up the hips of your partner so you can have that perfect angle, no matter what the size is. So that is always a good thing. Obviously, sex is what we're going for, in a good sex at that. So remember, it's all about the penetration. If you wanna sit there and think about just that, it is about the penetration and everything and getting deeper, and that's what these positions are for and to provide for. Obviously, regular doggy style is good, but do use the modified version. But if you are going to do the other side, please do either wear a cock ring or get the penis extender. Completely up to you. You might not even have to do that, but always wrap around for that clitoral stimulation for your partner. The face-off, the one sitting on your partner, and this works with a height or weight difference, also works in this. You know, obviously if you're sitting on a chair and your partner is sitting on top of you, you are going to get that great penetration, and it's great for having less in and out time and everything like that, because she's actually doing all the work, and you can do some nipple play there and kiss and all that good stuff like that. So it works both ways. There is the Little Dipper, which is next. For the Little Dipper, your partner uses either a bed, a couch, or a chair. And what they're doing is they're hoisting their body up over you. You can then, you're inserting or penetrating with your penis into your partner's vagina or wherever it is that you are doing, or anus. Completely up to you. But it gives you a T-shape formation, which is a lot easier because your partner is higher up, sitting right on you. It makes it that easy. Obviously, the cowgirl, which we've discussed, the stand and deliver. It's also known as the bicycle, and obviously, it's good for deep penetration, small or large. Use the edge of the bed or the desk, wherever you want. You're going to have your partner lie on their back and raises their legs to your chest, which is always, always good. There is the elevated reversed cowgirl. It's just a little bit of a variation. You're going to place a pillow under your hips. This way it makes it that it's raising you up off of the bed. The spork. Oh, I gotta laugh at some of these names. This one allows for you to use your partner's leg as leverage. So you're actually holding on to their leg and you're coming in kind of sort of on an angle to them. So you have your partner lie on the floor with one leg extended straight, and you kneel between their legs and raise their other leg straight up so that it's resting on your shoulder. You keep a hold of their leg as you penetrate, basically, and you push and you pull using your body in it, your partner's body in and out. There's the pole position where your partner is sitting on top of you in like the reverse cowgirl position, but you're actually straddling your partner's actually straddling one of your legs. And it makes it a lot easier for the penetration, and it's like you find a place where to sit and go to town. There's the gee whiz, obviously. Your partner's laying on their back with their legs over your shoulders, up and over your shoulder, and you are knelt over them, but you have the angle for penetration right there. So there are so different ones. The flat iron, which actually is pretty good for anal penetration. And that is another good position. But this is also good for penetration regularly in vagina or whatever. You have your partner lay on their stomach with their feet squeezed together or their legs squeezed together. And it helps with that. You can put a pillow underneath their pelvis, which will also lift them up for you. But their legs are in between yours and squeezed together. Those are some positions, and you can modify them to your liking. again, it isn't about the size, it's about how you use it. And you can have great sex with a micropenis or with an oversized penis. It's really all about the masculinity in their heads for the most part. There are partners out there that will say or whatever. Remember, don't lie. Keep it open. That is the end of my show. And as always, please practice safe sex. If not for yourself or your partner. Always, always remember, if you're trying something new, to educate, communicate, and consent. So, thank you for tuning into the GSMC Sex Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Networks. I do ask that you please subscribe to the podcast and leave a good review or a review. It helps not only me, but it helps GSMC Podcast Network. Also, please find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and do like us. Also, you can, put there what you'd like to hear on the show. Completely up to you. So, as always, thank you again for listening in. And have a great night.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Sex Podcast, part of the GSMC Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcasts on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, or anywhere you find podcasts. Just type in GSMC to find all of our shows from the GSMC Podcast Network. From sex and relationships to health and wellness, life and happiness, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's episode of the Golden State Media Concepts Sex Podcast.